Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. GoodTimesWithScar here, and welcome back to the foolish worlds of FoolCraft. And we're here in the city of maybe. Just below us is what we completed in our last episode, and that is our new expanded road system, making up the municipal and the park zone of the city, which I think is looking very, very cool. Now, I gave you guys the option: should we do a fire station or should we do the Central Park? And there was a lot of excitement for the Central Park and a lot of great inspiration, which we'll get into in just a little bit. So we'll work on our fire station after we get the parks done, but we're going to do some cool stuff today. But before we do that, I want to jump back into my shop, because in my prior episode before I took a little break I asked you guys, what should we name our secret gun shop behind the furniture shop? So if we go through here, if you remember, we had our secret little entrance and we have our gun shop all set up in here. Now, up at this top point right here, this is where I want to put a little sign for the shop. And you guys came through and wanted to be called Definitely Not a Gun Shop. Because it's a secret gun shop. It totally makes sense. So we're definitely going to chisel and bit a little sign up there. Now, other things I might work on today is a silencer wall. Now, the silencers are the one thing in the Modern Warfare mod that I can actually craft. I've been trying to create some of the optics, but unfortunately they're still uncraftable. So definitely get the silencer wall set up and ready to go. So I think that's gonna be really cool. And thank you so much for the name suggestion. I completely forgot to let you guys know that in the last episode, so I apologize about that. But I've got a question for you. Do you see this room right here? What could we do with this? What does your imagination see in this space? To me, I'm feeling almost like a little restaurant, like a little diner restaurant potential, or maybe an Italian bistro with some like darker woods, kind of like the furniture shop. That could be really cool too. So we could do like a diner or like an old Italian restaurant in here maybe. Now, I've laid this out slightly. So think of it this way. This could potentially be a kitchen back here. And then along this corridor through here, this could be like maybe even a counter if it's the diner. You know, we'd use a lot of like stainless steel and things along those lines, color wise. And this could be that, and there could be little stools right there. And then these are the booths along here. That could be really cool too. I don't think I would actually sell any particular food, but I just want to create it as an aesthetic item for the city and for my building. But I don't know, maybe you guys have a completely different idea, and definitely let me know down in the comments for new shop, like hashtag new shop in the comments. I want to see what you guys have to say. But yeah, I really think maybe if we don't do a shop in here, maybe a nice aesthetic restaurant would be really cool. And I really love how this place is filling in. We still gotta work on the upper story there, but let's head outside, because I've got to show you something that just popped up in the city over the weekend, and that is the great Zuma has been super busy over here creating the record shop. Look at this thing. Architecturally, this is amazing. Look at those details there. I love the big letters with that little like detail right here. It makes it kind of look like a guitar string. Absolutely amazing. Love the attention to detail. Now, if you didn't watch that episode, definitely do so, because at the very end, he put out a call to action to the viewers, and that was to help him design record labels for the Fools. So think of each of the Fools and think of music that goes along with them. And then if you're an artist, make up an album cover and then send it to him on Twitter or his email. You can definitely check his episode at the end of the episode where he talks about this. But doesn't that sound really cool? Oh, I absolutely love what he's doing here with that. And especially like bringing you guys into it about like designing the records and stuff like that. I've seen some of them and they are amazing. Very, very well done. But let's take a look at our city, the thing we're going to be working on today. So what I want to start with is the fencing. And I got some really, really cool ideas for fencing that will go along the edge. So think of an old city park, and they have these kind of, big pillars and then wrought iron, fences and gates along them, and then old trees. And that's definitely what we're going to be doing today. And I found some really unique blocks to do this. I've never seen these before. Look at these things. They're hiding at the bottom of the chisel mod. I don't know if these just got updated, because I've never seen this before. Also, there's another thing I just found in here, which was really cool. It's like line blocks. Oh, here it is. It's on diorite, but you get the idea. There's little like cut marks in them. That's like totally new. Also concrete. When did they add concrete to the chisel mod? All these things are so new, but this is what caught my eye. was these brownstone blocks. I've never seen these before. And what's cool about them is they're like really weathered down at the bottom. So I think it would look really cool and would fit in with the rest of the builds from the city, but nobody's used this before. So it'll kind of have its own kind of like unique little take in this little spot of the build. One thing I would like to do is inside this block where we do it as kind of the lower part of the wall, like it goes across there. So it'll be kind of like a one block and then the wrought iron will go above that. I want to make little holes in it, like it's kind of weathered away. And I want these bricks behind it. So just in little spots, you can kind of see where it's chipped away, the kind of like outer material, the veneer of it, and you can kind of see the bricks underneath. I think could be really, really nice. Now down at the end here, this is where I want the marquee of the actual park to go. So if we turn around here, oh, so many skips. So if we go right here, so marquee pillar and a marquee pillar, and then a really cool little arch leading into the city park. And I think that would be very, very cool. Now we might get to the marquee in our next episode. We've got a lot to do today with, you know, like the chisel and bits of all of these wrought iron fences. And of course, adding some chisel and bit trees. I think that would look really cool. But as for this little section over here, with all the inspiration you guys gave me in the last episode about what to do in the park, like Kate came up big with some really, really cool ideas from the comments, like have like a little pond with a rowboat in it. Oh, that sounds amazing. And I thought, you know, from Up, you know, the curmudgeon, the grumpy man, his first job at the zoo was to like push a cart with like the balloons, and that's gave him the inspiration, you know, for the flying house and all. We've got to do that. We've got to do like a little cart themed after Carl from Up, with the balloons. I think that would be really cool. Maybe even have an ice cream salesman. Oh man, very, very excited for this. I think we can do some really cool things. Still stuck on the city hall. Also, don't know how to make these. Probably should have thought of that, Scar. Okay, what is this? Sandstone and clay. Okay. I think we can do that. And I'm pretty sure these blocks, if that's what we choose to use, I think they are from Tinker's and they require a drying rack. And I don't know how to make them in brick. I know how to make them in their raw form. So we've got a lot to figure out in this episode. So let's get this underway. Now I'm down here in my mines because I found a really cool block for our wrought iron, and it's once again in the chisel mod here, and it's these blocks of coal. This is a really cool block, and the reason that I'm going to go with this is that the flat colored block for the black color is more of like a gray. This is an actual black color, and it's really cool. I think that wrought iron is really going to pop against the brownstone with that, and of course like the trees and things. So I'm down here getting some coal, but look what I've found. I have found some more diorite for Elmer. Oh, we are going to become rich, my friends. Very, very rich at the end of his reign. So this is excellent. There is so much down here. Not as much as I found in those biomes, which I can't find another one. I have looked. I will continue to look. But yeah, getting lots of extra. How many do we get? Oh, 7. Oh, that's awesome. Anyway, I'm going to keep getting some more of this, and then we're going to see if we can find a sand biome and some of that elusive clay, because clay's actually super hard to find. Like it's, you know, it's in little pockets of rivers, but it's still kind of hard to find. So still getting the materials necessary for today. Back at the city, supplies in hand for our project today. But before we do that, let's drop off our diorite we found in the mines. And it looks like he still hasn't whitelisted and approved my extra credit, really. These are like extra credit, you know, bringing in the ghost wood, which, let's be honest, that's diorite wood right there. Come on now. Don't tell me that's ghost wood. That's diorite wood right there. And look, these are saplings. These should be like triple the points, because this is how you produce more of these said diorite wood. Anyway, and also the polished. Still not approved there, but if we throw that in there, it should, yep, it went through. Can I get some of these bags? These things are amazing. I gotta figure out how to make these. Man, I don't know how to do anything. So ender storage, I need to do that. I don't know how to do it, but it looks really, really cool. It looks like you get like a little extra bang for your buck, whereas these things are kind of annoying because they're kind of glitchy and they don't really hold all of that much. But this is my little makeshift workstation. It looks like we are starting to get some of our clay hardened down, so that's looking super fancy. And where did I leave that? Oh, over here. There we go. See, this is the pattern to make some of this brownstone stuff. And I love this block. I feel like maybe our next skyscraper or something is going to be made out of it. So let's throw this in there. See the possibilities. You have some like weathered types. You have kind of a darker tone. Now we're going to be using a combination of them. So why don't we pull out a couple things? So I'm going to be using a few of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do about 32 to start with here. And then I'm going to throw the rest in there. And then I'm going to grab out some of these. I think it's the raw version. Okay. So we already have the raw. So then I'm going to grab out, I think I'm going to go with this one. Okay. So let's just throw this down and kind of see how this will look. So say we take our polished blocks. This is the lower area. So this is kind of like at sidewalk level as you walk by, right? And then up on this upper level here, we're going to put that right there. Kind of wish this was a darker tone across here. And if I bring this upwards as the pillars that go along. Now, the reason I'm doing it this way is it looks like a weathered effect where it's kind of like dirtied down at the bottoms. I wonder if we were to take this and throw it back in there and see if there is a darker tone we could use. If we went with something like this, it could potentially look good. Oh my. Oh, we have found our way, my friends. Oh, we have found our way. I love this. It looks like it's all like weathered. Oh, that looks really, really cool. Okay, then. Looks like we found our way with this design. Very nice. All right, so let's grab out some coal now and let's take a look at this. So if we throw this in here, oh man, there's a lot of possibilities and they don't look that much different. Which one should we do? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm going to go with this one. I just kind of guessed on that one. So, of course, I'm going to literally chisel and bit these, so don't worry about this. But I'm just going to put this next to it because I think this color and that go really well together. Now, the other point would be that a lot of these wrought iron gates usually have a little bit of like gold leaf on some of them. I just, it could look awful also, so I'll kind of hold off on that for now. But I think this will look good for our wrought iron. Of course, once we chisel it, it won't maintain this like connected texture design. It'll break that up. So I need to hardenify all of these blocks over here and chiselify all of these down and start lining this up because boy, I think this is going to be really cool. I think we are set and ready to go. I did realize that it is not a block. It is an ingot that you need to harden down for those bricks. So I figured that out. Also, I was trying these other blocks. These, of course, were the hardened blocks that we dried on the racks. These look really cool too, but I think we're going to stick with these because I love the weathered look. And also this is a seamless texture. So that's really cool. I'm going with the zigzag. So this is the pattern I'm going to go with. So this of course came from the zigzag block. Or I guess it's just zag, but you know what? I'm feeling a little zigzag. Don't judge me. Okay, here we go. So let's get going. So I've got this all chiseled down and we're going to start right here. Now, out of nowhere, I came up with this idea of doing like a big column at the end of the gate. So if like over here and there, and then very far down, there's another one right there. I think that'll look really cool. Also, that opened up the possibility to potentially do a secondary gate right into the park from here. So I think that's cool. And it breaks up the monotony of the gate, right? Because this is a repetitive pattern over and over and over and over. And it's really good to break it up with the bigger pillar at the end, something in the center. Always try to, add something like that into your own builds as something to break up the design a little bit. There we go. So let's get that down. So that's looking good. Now, as for this lower region down here, I have some other ideas that we might try eventually, but we're going to go with this for now. So we're going to bring those together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to apparently not find what I need. After all this planning, I've been sitting here for like 30 minutes getting everything set up like blockwise, and I don't have what I need. Okay, now I do. Boom. So that's looking really good. Look at that. Oh, I love that transition. Oh, anyway, let's bring this block upwards like so. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to chisel this down. Now, you didn't think I was just going to go with a plain block, did you? Oh, you silly. We're going to do something really cool here. So, but before we do that, I want to establish the center point of this. So the wrought iron is going to go in this little quarter right here. The issue with this is I think these blocks are an even number if I'm not mistaken. Here, let me back that off. Let me go down to my line tool. I have no idea where the center of this block is. Oh, well, we can just kind of mess around here a little bit together and try to figure out where to bring this. Let's see, let's bring this to here. And then I'm going to sneak back just a little bit. I think we can insert this back a little bit so we have a little bit of an opening right there that could lead us to some extra design possibilities. So I think that actually could be a good idea. So if we make a larger column, and this is all in the pursuit of messing with the design a little bit, breaking it up from having repetitive patterns. That's why I'm going to do a larger wrought iron pole in the center and then smaller ones along here. And I think that'll look really, really good. Now, as for this top part, I don't want this to be bigger than the column, so I'm going to manually bring this up. How big is an actual block? I just want to set a block next to that. So how big is that? I'm not exactly sure. I think this will be fine for now. And then of course, what we're going to do is we're going to take another line tool here. And let's say we bring them across there like so. Oh, there we go. That is looking excellent. So I do apologize if there's a bunch of booms in the background. It is 4th of July today, and I just apologize if there's a lot of booms. There's not a lot I can do about that. Not a lot I can do about that. And also just realized I made a scar mistake, but that's okay. We'll fix that lower one. I should have done it. Actually, no, I did it right. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. One thing about, it's funny, I was thinking about this while I was like silently getting everything ready over there. And I was hearing these booms and stuff, and I was like, you know what? It's weird is when I got sick, a lot of things in my life changed. And I wonder if that was something maybe in your guys' own life when things have changed for you. Things you may have liked before some event, good and or bad, happened to you. When I think of when I got sick, I hated sounds. Like loud sounds, crowds, all of those things just really like repulsed me. I've gotten a little bit over that over times, but when I first got sick, that happened. It was like loud sounds, and you know, it's just funny how that works. Like things that you like, things that now you don't like. And I liked fireworks before I got sick, but after that, I couldn't do fireworks anymore. I couldn't take the loud sound. Maybe the fact that I was having a headache might be the thing. And then just being in like large crowds and stuff along those lines. I just don't like that ever since I got sick. But to you guys, any weird thing in life that happened to you and then you used to like or didn't like, now you like? I don't know. It's just funny how things change with you with events in life. There we go. Bring that down. Oh my, I am liking this. I'm going to take that one down because it had that really like white block on it. I'm going to move that out like so. There we go. Ho, that's looking really cool. Now, these are not even by any means, but I'm just trying to establish some detail that we can then use and replicate throughout. I think that is looking really cool. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. So if we swoop on the back here, up on this pole right here, what if we did something like this? We kind of run this up here into a point. Now, if you remember my gold leaf that I was talking about earlier, what about that? What about that? I think it could be really cool. So look up some old park gates and things along those lines. Oh, that is looking excellent. What if, this might be crazy, so hold on, keep your hands and arms inside the SCAR vehicle at all times. What if we open that up a little bit, and then if we take out a line tool and we add like just an extra little like indent of detail, right? Just a little something. So if we had just a little detail, potentially we could even do that gold going up here. That might look really cool. Just added that extra little detail there, I think looks nice. Now, looking at this from here, I really am happy that we went with the coal block over just a standard, that's a smooth colored blocks or whatever, because this adds just a little extra variation and shadings to it, which I think look good. This is looking okay. Now, what I want to do on this side over here is potentially bring these something like this, just add these little extra details like that. I think could look really, really cool. So let me work on these gates a little bit more, and I'll see you in just a second when we start working on the columns. Welcome back, and I have been working on this for a good hour or two, really trying to refine a design that looks good aesthetically, acts kind of as a gate, but you can still see through it. It's not too busy. So that's where it's been taking a long time with lots of different choices. So let's kind of dive into this. This was my original kind of like final one where I'm like, this could be it. So looking at this, there's lots of detail in here. I really love this pattern. It kind of goes up there like that. Love the little spikes at the top. The center column was very thick, so I removed its center column so you can see through it. I think that was one of my big issues with the design, was that you cannot see very well through it into the park. So I wanted to still feel like a gate, but still feel welcome. You can still see through, and of course lead you to the entrance. So I think this one's good, but then I moved down over here and I just kind of made it a little bit thinner. corner, you know, skinnied it up just a little bit, added a little bit more detail here in the center by adding that extra pole going upwards. And of course, like I said, I kind of skinnied this up, removed some of the thicker pillars that made up some of the lines like over here. See, these ones were a little bit thicker, which I really like that design, but I feel like, to me, once we start, you know, sending this, you know, all the way down the row, if we really have a busy, you know, thick pattern, it may get a little bit too much. So that's why I think I'm going to go with this one. So I want you guys to help me with this. Choice 1 or choice 2 in the comments, choice 1 or choice 2. Which one do you guys like? Do you like this thicker design? It's not a huge difference over this one, but it is a little bit. I'm leaning towards this version. I'll tell you why, because like I said, I think it's being a little bit skinnier might be the better way of going with it. So if we do something like that and we just repeat it all the way across, I think that's going to be a good decision. But you guys let me know, of course. So I'm going to run this all the way down the row and I'll meet you so we can start working on these columns. We got to think of a cool like column design. I want to really get in chiseling bits and detail them out and make a little fancy top up there. So I'll meet you guys just a minute. Welcome back, and we've got some huge progress on our wall, looking super fancy. Look at that intricate detail within the wrought iron. And as you can see, I've added some gates here in the center. Now it looks like down at the end there I forgot one. I forgot one. I've been working on this for hours. You don't know how many times I have messed up the positive chisel paper things, you know, putting the wrong one here, going back. Oh, I'm so dyslexic. Anyway, that's a problem. Anyway, we'll fix that eventually. But yeah, got that all down now. As for the gates right here, I felt it was a little bit kind of lonely here in the center, like it just needed to be broken up. This pattern was repeated way too many times across here, so I think this is going to break that up very well. And of course, the main entrance is going to be over there, but these are two secondary entrances to the park. Of course, we'll do up some nice wrought iron in this area and a nice gate, and we'll do something up there. But we need a name for this park. Now I'm trying to think, like, should we name the park after a fool? Should we name it just, you know, Central maybe Park or something like that? I'm leaning towards naming it after a fool because we've named a lot of the streets after fools, but we're not going to have enough streets to name it after all the fools. So we could name this park after somebody. We haven't named a street after False or Stress or Ren or Doc. So we definitely could think of maybe one of them the park could be named after potentially. But let's kind of dive into the details here. These columns right here, super plain and boring, right? We got to jazz them up. So let me find out some materials. It looks like I need to chisel down a few of these guys. One thing I didn't mention earlier when we started this episode was that I've started to add some detail to the roads. Like, look at this thing. Look at the water kind of dripping into the gutter from this crack. And then over there, oh, look, there's this one. This one's really cool. That crack's right there. And just some additional ones along the way. And we'll look at that in a little bit more detail later. But oh, wow, I hit my disco ball there. Hit the disco ball, but that's okay because we're about to dive into the details, my favorite part of building. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to skinny this up by just 1 pixel. There we go. And of course, we're going to have to add just a little more of our wrought iron on these sides. But I think this is going to be a really good idea. Just gives it a little bit extra detail being inset by 1. And of course, we could even push that in more, but I think this is going to be fine. I think this will be fine. Let's go to draw my regions and we're going to bring that up to there. Beautiful. And I'm going to cut that off there and bring it all the way down. There we go. So that's 2. Let's do 1 more on this side, I guess. That'll make sense. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think that'll be good. So let's do that 1 more time down this side. There we go. And then 2 on this side. There we go. And it looks like we got to do that again. There we go. I think that's right. Yes, perfect, beautiful. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's take out this. Oh, that's a little big. Let's just do it. What the heck? We'll cut those pieces out like that. I think that's good. And then we'll bring out the smaller 1/8 and we'll cut these out. And we'll just try to make some progress here, guys. Let's just see where this can kind of take us. I'm going to remove that back and I'm actually going to go to my, let's see, 1/4 once again. And let's just see, wait, why am I not getting anything here? Oh, I'm not holding it. Oh, no. There we go. I actually need to add it. So I need to hold the bits. There we go. Okay. I do like that. Let's take out the smaller one and let's do a little something on the top there just some subtle little things like that I think could be really, really cool. And as for this little spot right here, this still feels like it needs something. Maybe even take the regions down one more time across. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, and let's bring that down right there. See how the little details start to emerge there? Now, one thing it needs is maybe some bands going around it. So say we took out the blocks in a circular kind of pattern around it like this, could potentially look good. We would have to insert like a darker material back here to give it a little bit more definition, because otherwise it just looks like nothing. But I like that to a certain extent. I think we're getting there. It could definitely use some more work, but I'm thinking about going upwards like this. Let's come just a little shy of the top right there. And then that should be, yeah, there's 2 blocks on either side. So let me swap in, oh, this darker color right here. I think this could actually be really, really cool. Let's move that in there like so. Oh my, that is looking good. Oh, that's excellent. Okay. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to run just a couple bits across here like that. I'm just kind of cutting that off at the top. Yes, there it is. See how much better that looks by doing a bigger section down here and then just doing a little piece right there. I think that actually looks really, really cool. Now, as for like smaller details, I would love to kind of break open this a little bit, make some cracks and add that bricks that we've been hardenifying over there. Add those into here, maybe even grow up some like plants kind of growing out of the sidewalk along here. Do some vines onto the fencing. Oh, I think that'd look really cool. But I think this is generally a good direction right here. I think this is starting to look really cool. And I wanted to show you guys this other crack over here real quick. I like my cracks. That's okay. Like, look at this one. I think this is cool. There's like even a little bit of dirt shining through there and just around the edges where it's just kind of crumbled a little bit, revealing the older streets below. And of course, this big crack around that. Now, as for the like painted white lines, we have a little bit of definition built into them right there. So I think that looks really cool. And I added a few darker whites in here just to kind of give, once again, a little bit more definition into it. And I think that's looking really cool. So let me work on these posts just a little bit more and see where we can take them. Finally, have a design for the column. So I spent quite a bit of time really refining it. And I think this looks good. I've skinny-defied it very much. And I think that's looking really cool. I like these little highlight blocks right there. See those? And there's a little indentation right there. And then of course the darker block in the interior. And I think that looks really cool. It's got the little pieces right there. And yeah, so that leads us to here. So let's kind of see what we could do on this lower level. And this is the funny thing about chisel and bits is like, I'm going to build a fence and it's going to take me, I don't know, like 2 hours. It's 6 hours later and I'm still working on this. But I love it. Like, I love it. Like, I could do chisel and bits for days. Like, chisel and bits is, like I've said a million times, the best mod ever created. And especially for a builder, like generally, I think this is a great mod for everybody, but for like a builder, this is a paradise. All right, so I think this is good. And of course, we can bring these blocks in so you can kind of see that I'd want to highlight this block being attached to this main column. So I think that looks really cool. So we push these back just a little bit. There we go. Very nice. And then if we take this guy, right, and we're going to take this and we're going to, how many do I want to do? I think I'm going to do 2 blocks. So think about it this way. We have these things up here, right? Oops, let me move that like that. It just adds like an extra little, oh, what am I doing? I'm doing bad things. There we go. Awesome. So we got that, right? And I think that looks okay. It just gives a little highlight on the top. And if I extend this out just ever so slightly, now you might notice that there's a little bit of dirt poking through here. So I'm going to fix that definitely. I'll get that all cleaned up. But look at that. I think that is really, really cool. And if we swoop around the back and we give that just a little bump around the edges, there we go. Very nice. And then let's go into our draw the regions. And maybe we just do like a little region draw through here. Just a little something. We'll see where it takes us. Oh, hello there. Maybe a little bit like thicker, like give the edges just a bit of a bigger boundary. We could do something like that maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe nothing is the best method for this section right there. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it clean there. We might do that. We might just keep that simple and clean. But I do like this. I think that is an improvement. Now, the next phase of this is that, of course, we'll take this all the way down, clean up all the edges. Oh, and by the way, still forgot to do that side down there. But we need to go and we need to start kind of adding the little cracks in here, start getting some of the foliage kind of growing around and vines tangling themselves in this wrought iron. I think would look really, really cool. So let me go get some leaves. Let me go get some more of those bricks and let's see if we can make some magical details come together throughout this, because that's the most important part, right? You can create a big structure, but it's those little details that really make it come to life. Oh, I am very happy with the way this has finally come out. So let's kind of dive into the details. So we have our giant little corner pillars rising up. And of course we have our vines. Now I really got to get into some detail with especially the single bit. I was able to really kind of refine it. And look at this. We've got the chiseled bricks inlaid in there. So it looks like they've kind of the veneer of this is kind of chipped away, revealing the inners of the design. I think that looks really cool. There's a little bit chipping away there. And oh, yep, there's a little bit right there too. Got a little carried away. We got the vines in here, got a little bit of dirt in the sidewalk there, a little bit more over here. Look at this chunk right there. I love that one. I don't know why. It's my favorite one. So we got some more along there, and of course another crack where some vines are growing out and then tangling themselves on the wrought iron. And there we go, guys. Look at this massive amount of work we've got done today. I'd like to keep on going, but it has been over 8 hours since I first started here gathering resources, but I think it was well worth it because we've got a really cool design, and I very much hope this has inspired you for your own chisel and bit designs, and I very much appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the videos. And until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and we'll see you later. And don't forget to subscribe because you may just become scarred for life.